Whose job is it to initiate sex at your house? Every marriage has that one spouse, and they're the ones that always get things started. And it might work for a while, but if you don't talk it out, some other things could be happening too. So, we're going to unpack this question today: why it's important, what happens when you don't agree on those rules, why it's so delicate, and some practical tips for you to make it easier. So, why is this an important topic to talk about? And the initiating. Well, should it be shared? Should it always be the same person? Have you ever given it any thought? Has it come up as an issue that's kind of a sore spot? Usually there's a pattern, and the patterns may work for a while, but this is always good to go back and revisit, and we do this because we want to make things better. When there feels like there's an imbalance, when the responsibility always falls on one spouse, some undercurrent could be happening. This person might feel rejection. They might feel some resentment growing. There could be some insecurity. And it may be like, gosh, does my spouse even want me? The thought is, if they wanted me, they would pursue me. So it's very subtle, but it could be happening. And here's the kicker. Yes, we are talking about the actual act of sex, but it's always so much more than that. This is a place of emotional safety and security. If you don't feel appreciated, if you feel any way like you're being overlooked, then that is not going to be conducive for great intimacy together. That's why we break down some of these steps. Why is it delicate? Well, your history, your personal history has a lot to do with this. Have you had shame in regards to sex issues? I know it's taboo. Hey, if there's been past experiences, then you may be uncomfortable. Oh no, what's my spouse going to think? Is my spouse going to think that I just want sex too much? All of that is going on, whether you have thought it out or not. So I have some questions for you to ask gently to try to get to the bottom of this. Why is it delicate, and how can you get past that? So here's one of the questions. Do you recognize your own hesitation? So if you're not initiating, why? Are you aware that you are not initiating? Do you hold back because you're afraid of being turned down? Do you wait, just hoping your spouse will automatically know when you're interested? Hey, assuming that your spouse knows what you're thinking is never a good idea. So let's get to those practical tips. And these are going to be fun and interesting, and you can personalize them. Talk about what initiating means to each one of you. Is it actually saying, hey babe, I'm interested tonight, how about you? Is there flirting? Is this about deep conversation that you want to initiate as a starting place? All of those could count as initiating. And if you have one idea because you're just hoping for that sexual encounter to be amazing, or if your spouse has an idea and they want all of the deep connection first, well, you're automatically on opposite pages here. To make it easier, have some kind of visual cue or a verbal way to tease each other. Maybe there's a special pillow, there's a special candle, there's a special anything that you want to be there. And certainly if you have children in the household, you need to be aware of what they are experiencing while you are subtly communicating with each other. And I want you to think about trying something new together that can make initiating more interesting. Like, ooh, there's this thing, hun, and I'm thinking about it, and maybe you are too. Let's explore. That might help things a bit. But it could also backfire. Maybe if you're just in a routine and it feels like, why bother initiating? Yeah, those kinds of things are all at play and you have to talk it out. One more idea I have for you is about scheduling sex. Now you're like, it doesn't seem spontaneous. But if you're guaranteed that it will happen, then putting it on the calendar is good. And when you put it on the calendar, you can decide whose job it's going to be to initiate if you are sharing that. Another way that involves a calendar but isn't quite so rigid is to divide up the week. And as an example, it could be that Monday through Wednesday, the husband has the role of initiating. And Thursday through Friday, the wife has the role of initiating. And then Sunday is up for grabs, whoever is in the mood and wants to beat their spouse to it. There can be a lot of fun in how you set it up. The main goal is to feel that you're both in it, that there's a lot of respect. And this really is God's design for what connection looks like, because you want the best for each other and for your marriage. If you'd like some more tips, I invite you to check out the Arousal Pathway. The link will be in the description. It is a behind the scenes video and tutorial that you can do in the privacy of your bedroom to get to that place of arousal better, faster, and where you are both understanding what you want. So thanks so much for joining me today. And remember that God's design for a thriving marriage is an intimate connection in spirit, soul, and body.